Hello there, right here we got a brand new 1.18 snapshot. This is number 5, where they came in with pointier peaks and many other changes, including changes to how mobs spawn into the world. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button before we get started, as well as leave a like on the video and join me live on the server after this video. The first big change is that they went ahead and made points at the very tops of the mountains. So now they look more mountain-like, just like in the Bedrock edition. They also made mountains and the peaks of mountains a little bit larger than the previous snapshot. So they should not just be a very small ridge, but instead be a good sized chunk like this one is here. They also overall raised the height of mountains in this 5th snapshot because there was a bug in the 4th one that kind of made them flatter and lower. But because they still had to come in and add the points to the top of the mountains, they had to overall lower the rest of the mountain in order to get the points, so they wouldn't exceed the 260 wide level, which is the limit for mountain heights. They did this so that there's still plenty of room above mountains for players to build cool things. So any mountains that exceed this will just be whacked off and turned into a massive plateau. In the previous 1.18 snapshots, there was this problem where we would have two fossils right beside each other generating. One of them would be the coal one and one would be the diamond one, except the diamond one wasn't supposed to generate up here because it has a deep slate in it. It's supposed to be below Y level 0. They went ahead and fixed this now. Now because swamps kind of have this murky looking water, and the swamps that were near oceans were stretching out into the ocean, kind of spewing this murky water all over it. They went ahead and moved swamps more inland, and here's a good example of the ocean and how the swamp stays in land and doesn't spew into the ocean. And they also came in for swamps and made it so trees can actually grow in deeper water. Look at this one here, completely submerged up to its branches. That way the more water parts of the swamp aren't just completely barren, instead have some trees growing out of them. This desert well is probably the most worthless desert well, as there's water almost on all 3 sides of it. They also fixed a problem to do with red sand as well as calcite. As caves weren't able to actually cut through them, it was leaving this stuff just kind of hanging in midair. But now you can see the caves will cut through it just easily, and it looks very natural. They also came in and tweaked the rivers. They're less likely to be super deep, and they're no longer going to get choked off by flatlands. So the depths and the steepness along the edge is a little bit different. And when it does come to other areas, it slowly transitions, such as when it comes to like a swamp area. It doesn't just make huge deep rivers through the swamp, but instead kind of transitions to shallower and end up merging right in with the swamp. Also, I had a lot of people ask about how do rivers work now, as some of the rivers are really massive. Now if you go along the edges, sometimes the river will kind of end a little bit early before the actual water does. But the actual river biome is above the river all the way up to the very top of the world. It's also within the river, and it's also underneath of the river, unless you run into one of the special biomes underneath like lush caves or dripstone. So you can still build in drown farms over top of rivers. The small lakes that you would often find in these hot biomes have been removed. So you shouldn't find any inside of like deserts, savannas, or badlands. And other types of hot biomes got their water sources reduced. But there are these really kind of weird, super flat areas. This is actually a massive desert that have a layer of water on top of them. We just gotta take a look at this massive shattered savanna with all its little curves and divots. It is something to look at. In the last snapshot, they accidentally removed small hills and overhangs, so now flat areas should be slightly more hilly in places. When it comes to microbiomes, I kind of like situations like this where it easily transitions across this desert, and then there is some more of the forest biome over here. What do you guys think of it? But they did come in and reduce the amount of shattered terrain, including shattered savannas, and instead use the extra space to put in some more beaches. They also came in and made badlands slightly smaller on average. But overall, they can also be quite large. One of the coolest changes in the snapshot is they came in and made it so that waterfalls can also generate inside of stuff like dirt as well as snow. This means we can now get these cool waterfalls on top of these crazy high peaks. And you can see this actually brings in a lot of cool features that people were asking for like, such as like rivers coming out of the mountains or springs coming out of the mountains. And I have to say it looks really cool. There's also another one right over here. It just makes it look so much nicer. And of course they go down the entire mountain and end up probably going down some little crack or cave. So you might even find cave openings by using these. And they also added so that springs can occur inside of the lush caves biome. You can see a nice cool one right here, just kind of going right on through and filling up this water hole. Looks so natural. They also came in and re-added in Jungle Edge Biome. Now the actual biome, when you search for it, doesn't exist because they said they're going to probably come in and rename it because of all the generation changes that they have made. They also said they tweaked Mushroom Fields biome to match the shape of the island better. Now, I don't know what's going on here, but I can only find this little teeny piece of Mushroom Island quite pathetic if you ask me. But on this island there's some other strange stuff like this shipwreck that is completely on the surface and yeah, quite far away from the ocean. And overall the whole kind of island that the Mushroom Island's on is quite strange, as it is all considered mushroom fields, but there's no actual mycelium growing on it, so I think that's just a bug. This part of the island is still mushroom fields, but actually has mycelium, so I don't know what's going on here. Some probably messed up thing that they did in the code. And there's even like a ruined portal over here, but the island itself is kind of all by itself, but it definitely looks strange with trees and no mushrooms, but other mushroom fields look just completely normal. So I don't know what was with the other one. Here's a shattered terrain and you can see it looks pretty weird. And this is actually not desert, this is actually a beach. So it seems like they still go up pretty darn high. The Shattered Savannah Island that we looked at last time doesn't look as nice now, but it does kind of have this cool waterway still in the center of it. Also got to this flowing lava on one side and flowing water on the other side with a mine shaft inside of it. They made a tweak to dripstone caves so that if they do come to the surface, they will still have stone around them instead of being converted into grass, which will end up making them less grassy if they come leaking out to the cave entrance. Now, one of the biggest changes that they said that they did is that they revert the mob spawning changes that they did in the third snapshot. In prior version of Minecraft, mobs would spawn faster at the bottom of the world and they would spawn slower at the top of the world. And the change that they did was to make them spawn the same amount no matter where they were in the world, if they were on a mountain or if they were in a cave. I personally thought this change was good, but I thought they should increase the spawn rates a little bit. But they said they reverted this and now it should be like 1.17. And they said they're going to come back later in the snapshot and give it another try based off of the feedback. So if we turn on mob spawning, we can see it is working once again very fast at spawning them in, since we are here at the very bottom of the world. Do you think they should make it the same throughout the entire world and just make it a little bit faster? Or should there be like a lot of mobs spawning at the bottom world and like no mobs spawning at the top? Now actually having it so that mobs spawn the same throughout the world does have some advantages. Like pigman gold farms can be up to 50% faster for the same size. And wither skeleton farms can almost be 50% faster as well. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments. In case you guys are wondering what the Volcano Seed looks like with these new pointy peaks along the edge, this is what it looks like. It actually looks really cool. Makes it a lot more rugged and rigid, but it does make it look less like a old volcano. Now hop on over to my Twitch stream as I will be live streaming a deeper look into this snapshot and the weird generation that we got to experience. And remember, I do live stream every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday starting around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you have your YouTube bell notifications turned on, you will get notified when I go live. As always, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me what you guys think about these changes in the comments. I would like to thank all you guys for watching, and I will see you guys over at my live stream. Bye-bye!